This is Rob Temple for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, joined here today by Eddie Hearn. We're down at BXR in London, head of Billy Joe Saunders' public workout. How are you, Eddie?
I'm very well. How are you, Robert?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thanks for asking. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? This week I've been around, and I was around last weekend. Where was I? We had Italy last week, a couple of upsets. I don't think I'll have an Italian broadcast contract for too long because they keep getting beat. Really good wins by Luther Clay, first time I've seen him box, quite enjoyed that. And a really good win for Sam Eggington, really out of nowhere, that puts him top 10 with most governing bodies now, and going to land himself a big fight. So come back for the weekend. Devin Haney's here, so he's going to have his workout on Friday. Was at Sky with him today, talk sport, and then next week go out to New York for Gennady Golovkin, and then to Chicago for Usyk, and then back for Newcastle, and then big O2 show the week after, and then Manchester, Katie Taylor, Crawler and Boazzi, and then KSI, Logan Paul, and then 16th, the next clear week, November 16th, so it'll be a long run.
Just touch upon, make an interesting comment there about your Italian shows. We've seen Marcus Morrison go out and chin Emmanuel Blandamura, we've seen Sam Eggington go over and win. How does that affect your Matchroom Italy business? How does that impact on things?
It's not great, but I keep saying to the guys, like, you can't just, if you're going to grow the sport, you can't just give Italian fighters knockover jobs and just pad up their record. So when a fighter gets to a certain stage, we've got to see how good they are. Fior Di Giglio was a good example. IBF number 5, if he's not going to beat Sam Eggington, he's not going to go and fight for a world title. So, and sometimes you lose, like Morello lost to Clay, good fight. He showed a lot of heart. He can come back from there. He's a young kid. Some of the older guys, like Fior Di Giglio and Blandamura, they are at the end of their careers. And there's a lot of young talent coming through, and we've got to bring that through. But we've also, we've got to give good fights. And they keep sort of saying, bloody, like after last Thursday, like Christian Kirchhoff, who I work with OPI. Eddie, I said, listen, don't worry, it was a good night of boxing. It was good fun. It's like, what we're going to do British boxing, no Brits ever lose. Like, it'd just be shit, wouldn't it? So, build the youngsters, and when they get to the stage, give them a chance, and those that are good enough will advance, those that aren't can come back, can rebuild, can go again.
Where does this leave Luther Clay now? As you said, it's the first time you've seen him box, really took advantage of boxing on a big platform.
I just love, one of the most pleasing things about the Italian venture is that those guys that wouldn't get the opportunities here are getting the opportunities there to go and sort of change their career. The mindset's different, Rob. Like, Luther Clay, Eggington and Marcus Morrison all went, do you know what? I'm right up against it. I went into the change room and said, guys, you do know you ain't going to get any favours out here. If this is close, you're not getting anything. I said, so you've got to go out there with mean intent. And that's what they did. And it's always brilliant to get a big win on away soil. Luther Clay's probably going to end up top 15 with a WBO now after winning that title. So he's got a lot of work to do, but he's got a lot of spunk, and he's a good fighter that can be involved in some good fights.
Conor Benn?
Yeah, it's a great fight. We've looked at that fight before, actually. And I think Conor Benn, Luther Clay, great fight.
Obviously, we're down here for Billy Joe Saunders today. He's been announced to be featuring on the KSI Logan Paul 2 undercard. No opponent as of yet. When can we expect that?
We were going to announce today, but I'm just waiting for final approval from the WBO. So you'll either get it tonight or tomorrow, basically. So I just wanted to bring him down. He's going to spend a lot of his camp out in America for this fight, so I just wanted to get him in front of the media. And it's a good fight, looking to fight an American. I think that's important. Obviously, we know the card that he's going on. And I think now it's just about making sure that he gets the exposure, more importantly gets the win ahead of a massive 2020, because that's really crunch time for Billy Joe.
What's Billy Joe's thoughts? I mean, obviously much has been made of the fact that he's going to be boxing on 2 YouTubers undercards. What's been his thought process behind that? How has he received that?
He gets it. I mean, I was with Devin Haney this morning. Like, it's pretty straightforward. Like, you've got one show here you could box on, or you've got one show that's 10 times bigger. What show do you want to go on? Like, it's not hard to understand. These people, people seem to think that, I've even seen like ex-boxers or current boxers saying, why should these blokes go out there and earn all this money fighting? So, because they've built a brand that enables them to do so. They're clever people, really fucking clever people, you know? So they've built a brand that's enabled them to take this opportunity. Are they going to go and be world championship boxers? No. Can they fight? Yeah, I heard Andy Clark's comments today at Sky. He's like, I've just got a problem because these guys are not physically worthy to be a professional boxer. Not being funny, have you seen some of the boxers that have fought, or even on our cards, against kids starting out their careers? Might be from Hungary, or mate, these guys are a lot better than them. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, and it's going to be a huge event, big opportunity for Billy Joe to break into a US audience, big arena, big crowd, obviously on TV in the UK as well, be a lot of people watching, and you know, it's just the main thing for Billy now is to get this win in November and move on to a really big 2020.
Much has been made about the new audience or the size of the audience coming into that show. Is there any concerns or reservations on your behalf? I mean, Billy Joe's had his incidents outside of the ring about potentially exposing him or those incidents or issues to that kind of audience?
What, his old ones or him doing something silly moving forward?
Potentially either or.
I mean, the old ones, not really. I mean, look, these guys aren't really whiter than white in terms of some of their antics sometimes, so I think Billy Joe's well suited in that respect. I think Billy Joe's grown up enough. Look, people said when we signed him, "Oh, are you gonna sit him down and tell him what he can and can't do?" No. The beauty of Billy Joe is he's a character, he's a personality, he's capable of doing anything. I do feel like as a world champion, as a role model, you do have to act in a certain way, but you can't take the rawness away from Billy Joe because you take the personality away. It's a bit like saying to, I don't know, Ronnie O'Sullivan or Alex Higgins or something, mate, I don't want you to be like that anymore. That's them. That's what makes them what they are. And Billy Joe is volatile. He's controversial at times. He's also very, very good. And you know, he's a man. You know, you don't want to mould him. He's not an 18-year-old kid that you can say this is how the brand's going to be built. Billy Joe's Billy Joe. And you know, I believe he's going to be in massive fights. I believe he's going to get the Canelo fight. I do. On Cinco de Mayo. I just got a feeling that he's going to be the pick. And he'll be ready for that fight.
Vidal Riley versus Shannon Briggs?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, no. But just say it, yeah, say it's happening. But no, I can't imagine it is. But, you know, Vidal Riley can fight. It's not bad. He's had a couple of fights, hasn't he, as a pro? So, yeah, he can fight. Shannon Briggs. There's a lot of people. I've had so many people sliding into my DMs about wanting to fight on that card. I'm like, no, the whole idea was it to be a boxing event with KSI Logan Paul. I'm getting a lot of hate from the YouTube community that's saying, nah, it shouldn't be like that, it should be more YouTube fights. So I'm talking to to Jake Paul about he wants to fight Anderson Gibb or this other guy that, you know, I'm like, it's well over my head. But there is that element of, you know, from a subscriptional point of view and interest, if you bring that new audience in order to maintain them, you almost have to give them something to look forward to still. Does that make sense? So it might be a Jake Paul featuring on an undercard of a pro event or something like that, maybe the month after, I don't know. You know, to make sure that audience re-engages. So I'll have to see.
I'm going to try and skate through this because we've got a few people waiting and watching behind us. Your new client, Gennady Golovkin, returns to action against Sergey Derevyanchenko on October the 5th. Great fight. Really good fight. And I think the styles will gel really well. Jacobs beat Derevyanchenko. Good fight. I think it's a split decision. But I think it was a bit early for Derevyanchenko. I think Jacobs boxed a smart fight. Golovkin's going to do what he always does. He's going to come in, seek and destroy. And I think he'll be really explosive. And I think Gennady will win by devastating knockout. And I think he'll look really good doing it. You mentioned Billy Joe getting that Cinco de Mayo fight. Canelo and Golovkin still going at each other in the press. Do you think that we'll ever see a third fight there? I mean, obviously now you look after Gennady. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, look, we got 4 guys that want to fight Canelo. Billy Joe, Callum Smith, Demetrius Andrade and Gennady Golovkin. So if they can't get that fight, then let's put them all in together. You know? Let Callum fight Billy Joe, let Demetrius fight Golovkin, or whichever mix you like of that. But I do believe that Canelo's Cinco de Mayo opponent will come from that form. So they've got to stay patient. It's very difficult, you know. It's a bit like Demetrius at the moment. It's like, when am I going to get
the big breakout fights. Like, look, all you can do is stay active, keep winning, and it will come.
Do you think Canelo will come back to 160? He's boxing 175 pounds. That's a lot of weight to get back down.
I don't think it's going to be hard for him to get up to 175. I'd be very surprised if he weighed in at 175. Now I've said that, he definitely will. But I just think he won't want to come in. He'll need speed against. He'll need size, but he'll need speed against Kovalev, and that's what should win him the fight. So I expect him to weigh sort of early 170s, and I expect him to come back to middle, maybe super middle, after this fight.
Israel Madrimov on that card as well, real red hot prospect in the super welterweight division. You told me after the first fight that he wanted world champion straight away. How far is he from that?
They're ready now, but it's really difficult to find the opponents for Madrimov. You know why? Because no one wants to lose to a 1-0, 3-0, 4-0 kid. Because if you lose to a kid like that, it's kind of like your career's not in great shape. He's fighting Barrera. It's a good fight, very durable. Want to do rounds. He just looks like a miniature little Gennady Golovkin, and he is going to be a formidable fighter that I believe will win world titles. And we need to invest the money to get a sizable opponent. Mark DeLuca was supposed to take the fight. He pulled out of the fight, but we need that decent name, that decent test. Because you can't just keep going in there just knocking people out. He's going to have to go deep in a fight and learn at some point.
Liam Smith, Kell Brook, potentially?
Yeah, again, like I wouldn't, managing Liam Smith and Kell Brook, I wouldn't want to put them in with a guy that was 3 or 4-0, because it's just what have you got to gain out of that? And Madrimov hasn't got a world title, so you've got to pay those other guys sort of that might have less to lose to jump in with Madrimov. But it's a formidable challenge, and a dangerous one.
What's going on with Callum Smith, Eddie? Andy seems to keep going up to Manchester every time he goes up. Like, the story continues and continues. What's the latest, and what's your plan with Callum moving forward?
Pretty simple. We're just sorting out Callum's next fight. It looks 23. We're looking at John Ryder, who's the mandatory. Ryder's got a couple of options as well, all moving in the right direction. Ultimately, we're going to Anfield in May or June, and we had a good meeting with Liverpool Football Club about securing that date, and that's the plan. But firstly, I feel like we need to box him on a Saturday night fight night, box him in Liverpool, give him that homecoming, a good crowd, good atmosphere, and a good fight against Ryder as well before we go to Anfield.
Saw some stuff today about potentially Brooke Khan doubling up on that show. That's surely not true.
That's not true.
Didn't think.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Just maybe next gen. I think there's a little bit past the sell-by date for next gen, that fight. Moving on, finally. Obviously, I was in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Saw Tyson Fury. Haven't caught up with you since. I know you spoke to Andy. One thing that did interest me, there's a potential, and as I understand it from what I've heard on the grapevine, that the Wilder fight may not happen in February. Would you be interested in putting the winner of Ruiz Joshua in with the winner?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only focus for AJ is to win the fight against Ruiz. So I think if Ruiz was to win, then Heyman would probably try and make the fight with Wilder ASAP. If AJ was to win, who knows what he's going to do? He might retire. Who knows? But all our heads, all the focus is just on beating Andy Ruiz, and AJ becoming a unified world heavyweight champ again for the third time.
Does he remain the A side if he beats Andy Ruiz and that potential with Deontay Wilder?
It's the biggest fight of the year. If he beats Ruiz, he's bigger than he was before he beat Ruiz. Sorry, before he lost to Ruiz. That makes sense. So yeah, it's. But look, A side, B side, who cares? Let's just beat Andy Ruiz first.
Just final one, a lot of rumours about Dillian Whyte potentially returning to the ring, also talk of him returning in Jeddah. Can you clarify that? Talk of Alexander Povetkin?
I don't think he'll be returning in Jeddah, but I do... Diriyah, but I don't think we are too far away from getting some kind of position. I mean, look, I still feel like the UKAD stuff's got to be announced, cleared, but ultimately he's cleared to fight. He could fight tomorrow. But obviously people do want some kind of closure to that situation, so that's what they're working towards now.
Saw Mauricio Sullivan with his Dillian Whyte hat on Twitter. That kind of indicates to me that he'll keep his interim status.
What, because he wore a hat? That's an interesting thought, yeah. Look, like I said, at the moment he hasn't been punished, he hasn't been banned, he hasn't been suspended, so right now there's no reason to take his interim status away. Let's get that final clarification out and move forward.
Okay, Eddie Hearn, thanks so much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate.